name is Leo. Go down, William. What are you doing? Hello, my name is Leo. Welcome back to Vespa 5. What are we, 67? We're getting up there. Soon we'll be a month away from finishing this shit. Anyway. So it's Thursday today. Now we gotta go down or up? I mean down or right. We'll go right. Alright, that'll be the last time we go right. Well, we'll go down next, and then we'll go a bunch more right. So, we should have just gone down and said that's the last time we're gonna go down for a very long time. If not ever. I'm not sure if you need to go down anymore. The next part here, it opens up, there's an artifact at the top of like a 2x2 tunnel. And then it's where it splits and there's a plant at the top and a plant down the bottom, is that right? I think so. And there's a block in the middle, so you have to either go up or down, which we will go up, because after that, there are two corridors. One goes to a dead end with an artifact, the other one goes straight along to another artifact, and then down one more time, so you do have to go down once. And then all the way to the end, to the final exit. And you will need to go down one more time for that too. True, good point. Anyway, what I do want to do today, though, is, I want to talk about Evangelion 64, or Neon Genesis Evangelion for the Nintendo 64. I've never owned a 64. I played that game, back in the day on, like, a Nintendo 64 emulator, and the graphics weren't all that great. And I would like to play it for the, you know, the year of Evangelion next year, that I've been desperately trying to get my hands on, you know, a bunch of games of. And this is one of them, because I've got Evangelion 2, which is for the PlayStation 2, which is nothing like the first game. But I would really like to play the first game. It was a really good looking, like, well, the first couple of levels were like basically a 2D fighter style, 2D mech fighter, I guess you could call it. And it was just fun. When I played it, none of the like 2D images showed up on the emulator, so all the cutscenes were just blank. The menus were blank. All the HUD in the game was blank. All you could see was just the actual, you know, the Angel and the Ava, and, you know, any 3D made buildings in the scenery. That's all. No background, just a black background. No health display. It was still worth it. Unfortunately, though, I think it was the third level was unplayable because it's the one we actually have to use the HUD to snipe the Diamond Angel. And guess what? I had no HUD, so I couldn't finish it. But I would like to play the entire game. Now, so I've been looking for the cartridge. I do believe that there are emulators out there that can emulate it a little bit better, though it's not perfect. There's sometimes where it's just like the left half, or the left half? No, the right half of the screen twice. Instead of the left half on the left and the right half on the right, it's just the right side doubled up on both sides. But it's still, you know, the HUD's there, so you can actually play the fucking game, which would be great. But I would like to play the original. I would like to play it in its, you know, in its original thing. So I've been looking around for the cartridges in like secondhand game shops and stuff. Last night, no, not last night, 2 nights ago, I was in the game shop and I was just browsing around, and I found like a box that had like, you know, a used PlayStation 2 and a used PlayStation 3, and then a used N64. I'm like, oh, it's an N64. How much is it? Oh, it's fucking $18. Holy fucking shit, there's a label on it that says AV cable missing. I'm like, well, fuck. How the fuck do you get one of those? I'm like, well, I'm never going to be able to get that. It's dirt cheap, though. $18 for a fucking console? Holy shit, man. So I went looking for both the Neon Genesis Evangelion. Well, I went to another game shop yesterday, and I was browsing around there, and I asked him, do you have an AV cable for a Nintendo 64? Expecting a no. And he's like, oh, maybe. And he went off, and he started looking, and he handed me this cable that said GameCube on it. And I'm like, that's a GameCube AV cable. Right, does that work with a Nintendo 64? And he's like, yes. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't trust you, but what is it, $2.50? That's pretty cheap. So for $20, I could have an entire Nintendo 64. Right. Well, thank you for your help. I'm going to go home and check to make sure that it works. I did do that. And yes, apparently the GameCube AV cable is the same AV cable as the Nintendo 64. Much like the PlayStation 1 and 2, I guess, when you think about it. And 3. Well, if you want to get into the nitty-gritty of it. And you want to beat standard definition. Yeah, we're sure. There's only one problem with this. I have encountered this with the PlayStation 1. I found a successful workaround with one of the Evangelion games that's on the PS1 that I want to play. But the Nintendo 64, unfortunately, doesn't have this capacity. The PlayStation 1, when I tried to record it, I don't know if this actually happens with the Australian games, the Australian PS2, but it's irrelevant because my PS3 can play, PS1 games anyway. But I would want to, when you try to play, and I think you can see this as evidence when Jack and I played the first Dynasty Wars game, is sometimes, especially with cutscenes, it's sort of like it starts recording, and then, like when I'm using I use a Haupark HDPVR1, it starts to record, and then it sort of stops. My TV says no signal, and then it comes back in, and then it continues where it left off. And then on the recording, it just cuts all that completely out. So every time that would happen, and it happens like every, 30 seconds, it would completely desync my audio, not to mention the fact that huge portions of the cutscene would be missed. So, for a game like, the game I'm referring to on the PS1 that I want to do next year for Evangelion, is the Girlfriend of Steel, the first Girlfriend of Steel game, which is a visual novel. It's all fucking cutscene, essentially. So, I'd be pretty much fucked. But I've got a workaround for that. But the Nintendo 64, I believe, will have that same problem if I try recording it. So, I'm not sure if I should really buy it. I mean, for $20, it's cheap. That being said, I fucking found the cartridge for Neon Genesis Evangelion on the Nintendo 64. I found 2 of them at the same fucking shop, which I thought was amazing. And then I looked at the price of it. Fuck. So I checked price of that Mario 64 for $5. Then another game there for 1,000 or 1,000 yen, which is like $10. Then other games there that were even cheaper, like $2, $3, that sort of thing. Neo Genesis Evangelion on the Nintendo 64 is 3,450 yen, which, ignoring conversion, which is not the greatest at the moment, is around about $35. It's probably more than that. It's probably more like $40. So that's like twice as much as the console itself that I want to play it on. Holy fuck. So I'm like, oh man, I really want to play it, but fuck, it's really expensive. It's really expensive. And I mean, I could buy it and I could play it, and if it doesn't record, I can always use the emulator. I don't know what the legality is on emulators, playing emulators on YouTube, because I don't really do it. I'm under the understanding that if you own the original game, then it's all fair game. I don't know if that means if you have to own the console, if you just own the cartridge, but I mean, in this case, I would have the Nintendo 64. You might as well buy the fucking Nintendo 64. It's cheaper than the game. And then you can play it, and then play the actual game on the emulator to record it for the Year of Evangelion. Unless there is some way, and I know there's one capture card that might work, although playing the game at the same time would be kind of difficult. But I don't have that with me. It's in Australia, which is a bummer. I just don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. At the end of the day, paying $55 to play one game that you can play for free anyway, whether or not that's legal or not is another thing, but is it worth it? Is it really worth it? It's Evangelion, dude. It's like the best Evangelion game, so I know. But, yeah. So I'm thinking about it. I will think about it some more. You know, I've got what are we? We're just coming into October now, so I've got like 3 more months before I have to think about it. It'll probably be the first game I play though. Yeah. On that note, just about the year of Evangelion. I'm not sure whether to start the year of Evangelion on January 1st, 2015, or to start it. I can't remember the exact date, but someday early April 2014. The reason for that is the one of the games that I've managed to get my hands on, which was the Raising Ayanami game, which is I'm going to play during the year, week by week, like once a week, and do a bit of a blog with that, because by then, you know, Vesper 5 will be long gone. That starts in April, and that, I believe, that is, well, the beginning of the series, the TV series, starts like a few weeks, maybe even a month after the start of the game. So, like May 2015. And theoretically, that's when the year of Evangelion should start, especially since that game doesn't finish until like late March 2016. Which is true for the series too. I remember there was that one thing where they showed the fact that it was 2016. So I don't know if I should start the year of Evangelion in January, or if I should wait until after. It really all depends on when the Phantom Pain comes out. Because when the Phantom Pain comes out, that's the only game I'm ever going to want to play. Yeah, like I'm not going to want to play anything else. So I'm going to have a hard time finding time to play Evangelion games when all I want to do is fucking play Snake. I don't know, I'll think about it. Anyway, today marks the last of the Onimusha Soul videos for a while. Hope you enjoyed. I did a quest! I hope you're happy. Those people that were like desperately asking me to do quests. I did a quest, not much of one, but I will, and like I said, if I do play more of this game in the future, I will do some more quests. Focus a bit more on the questing, and a little less on the tutorials and just stupid building shit. That being said, tomorrow we'll have a new video. I think the video in question will be, Winnie the Pooh's Home Run Derby, I believe. It's more of that. Fucking evil game that is. I'm gonna beat that game. I swear to God, no matter what happens, I'm gonna beat that fucking game, I swear to God. We might play some more of it next week too. But that's all for me today. Let me know what you think about buying, basically, a Nintendo 64 and Evangelion 64 for a total of like $55-60 just to play one game. When you think about it, that's like the cost of the game originally anyway. But it's a lot of money just for one game. I'm not going to buy any other games on Nintendo 64, God, because they'll all be in Japanese. It's not worth the effort. But, I don't know. Let me know what you think, and I'll figure out what I do. I've got plenty of time to think about it. But for now, my name is Leo, and I will see you next time.